Hello everyone, my name is Vlad and today I'm back with a full review of the Osee T5 on-camera monitor. I've had some time with it, I've used it, I've tested, and here I am to talk about my experience and best features of this monitor. I may repeat some information I gave in the first look video, but this is more in-depth review. So let's get to it. Thanks to the compact form factor, I store my monitor and all the accessories I might need in this pencil case, except for this NPF 750 battery, because I still haven't bought a smaller battery. From a box, this monitor comes with a sun hood, tilt arm, and 3 different HDMI cables. For the convenience, I also bought a smaller mount as well as another HDMI cable. Let's talk specs. This monitor is 5.5-inch Full HD monitor with 4K support and 16:9 aspect ratio. Having Full HD and 4K standing next to each other might be a bit confusing, but what it means that you can shoot 4K footage and it's gonna be downscaled to Full HD to display on this monitor. But you're still gonna record 4K footage. This monitor is lightweight, it's just 164 grams or 230 grams with a tilt bracket. It has a good brightness level, 450 nits, which is more than enough for most cases. But on a bright sunlight you might want to use sun hood. Or you might want to buy another Osee monitor which has 3000 nits. I just still can't get my head around this number. Appearance wise, first thing to notice that this monitor has a minimal design. There is no buttons at all, only this single joystick. Borders on top and the bottom are really thin. Form factor is more or less like a mobile phone, so more or less same size. The monitor made out of good quality plastic and there is a metal skeleton inside for durability. In overall it feels really good in hand and it doesn't feel cheap at all. On the front panel you will find the single joystick, and on the left side you will find HDMI in and the power output for a dummy battery. Both of them recessed a bit, which adds some level of protection for these connectors. On the right side we have a mounting point and a micro USB port. Another mount located on the bottom of the monitor, along with a SD card slot, 3.5mm headphone output and 2.5mm remote control socket. Back panel has a power switch as well as a dual-purpose battery slot. In other words, it accepts Sony NPF batteries as well as Canon's LPE6 batteries. Having 2 mounting points as well as a tilt arm lets you to mount it in any scenario, be it on top of the camera or on a gimbal or anything else. Let's briefly go through the features this monitor has, and let's start with the simple ones. There is an auto rotate feature which was great with a tilt bracket, and it's needed when you're both in front and behind your camera, and obviously it works for any angle, but as I don't usually rotate it for a full 180 degrees, I got myself a smaller mount. For focusing there are 2 and 4 times zooms, which are controlled by joystick, as well as 2 focus picking tools. And just the fact that this monitor is quite bigger than built-in camera monitor, it helps a lot. You can easily see if you are just a little bit out of focus. For framing there are tools like grid, safe area guidelines, center crosshair, as well as aspect ratio guidelines. And if you are shooting anamorphic, there are a few options to decrease your image. So if you are planning to change aspect ratio in the post or you are shooting anamorphic, then you can safely shoot with a clear vision of how the final frame will look like. Exposure wise, there are tools like Zebra, which shows the stripe pattern over the highlights, or false colors, the one which I really like. That is not something you usually find on the mirrorless cameras, but it's very useful. There are a few modes for the false colors as well as some lock curves for different cameras. Histograms is something that most photographers are familiar with, but vector scopes and waveforms is beyond me for now. Also there is an audio meter to monitor your sound and the image resizer to fit all the tools on the screen the way you want. There are 30 built-in log LUTs as well as 16 user uploaded LUTs. To upload your LUTs you need to use a SD card and upload it one by one. I've uploaded Peter McKinnon's LUT pack, which I bought a while ago, but I usually don't use it, and that is a good chance to try it. That is great to be able to see almost the final result while shooting, so you don't have to guess an exposure for the look you are going to. You can just apply this LUT and to see the immediate result. This monitor supports workspaces or scenes, which means you can set up different tools for different scenes. And for example, you might have one scene with all the exposure tools to adjust exposure before the shoot, and second page with all the focus and framing assists to use while you're shooting. You can add up to 8 workspaces and up to 8 tools on each of them. Also, all these features, they work with any input, so you can apply focus picking, LUTs, zooms, histograms and etc. to the footage you already shoot to analyze it. You just have to play back your clips and to make sure that everything is up to your liking. This monitor is perfect for me, but everyone has a different requirements, so let's quickly go through the list of the features that this monitor doesn't have. First of all, there is no buttons, only one joystick. There is no cooling because it doesn't get hot, as far as I've used it, and which also means that there is no noise from it. Also, there is no touchscreen, as I don't really like touchscreens on this kind of devices, and there is no HDMI out. The price for this monitor is just at $200, and sometimes you can even get a discount. Just recently they had the 40% off on Amazon, but even for the full price I think that is a tremendous deal, because for $200 to get all these features in one package, I think that is awesome. Yeah, I really like it, and for my personal use I think that is the perfect one. In my opinion, anyone who's shooting video will benefit from having an on-camera monitor. Just having a bigger screen will improve your experience tenfold. At least that is my experience, because I can see much clearer what is in the frame, what are the colors, exposure, and it's getting much easier to nail your focus with manual lenses. And as a bonus, due to the additional weight of the monitor and the battery, you get less shake shooting handheld, which is quite a big deal for me personally, because my camera doesn't have any form of stabilization. I ended up with this kind of setup, be it mounted on a top handle or directly on the top of the camera. In both cases the whole setup is quite small and portable, and in the same time it adds a bit of weight, which helps to make a shot a bit steadier. Regarding on how I've set it up the monitor itself, basically first page I'm using while I'm shooting, it's all the focusing assist, framing guidelines as well as LUTs applied. And on the second screen I have all the analysis tools for exposure and colors, which I used before I started to shoot. So nothing really complicated, but if you're talking about second page, there is still lots of information that I do not understand and still need to learn to use some of these tools. So that's it, I hope you liked it, and if you have any questions you can write them down below. There is all the links in the description, and if you want you can like and subscribe. Thank you, see you again.